Nintendo and Illumination present one of the most eagerly anticipated adaptations of all time. It's here, the Super Mario Brothers movie. I went to go see it, and I'm presenting to you today my review on the Super Mario Brothers movie. This is a non-spoiler review. I may do a spoiler review later on this week. I may not, depending on what I have going on. But let's talk about the Super Mario Brothers movie, okay? Now, going into this film, there was that controversy because Charles Martinet does not play Mario, although he is in the movie. Instead, it's been recast with more famous, live action actors. Chris Pratt plays Mario. Anya Taylor-Joy plays Princess Peach. Charlie Day plays Luigi, Mario's brother. Jack Black plays Bowser, the king of the Koopas, and Keegan-Michael Key as Toad. Plus Seth Rogen plays Donkey Kong, and he pretty much rounds out the cast. So I gotta tell you, I have seen what some of the critics have said about this movie, and it once again reaffirms my belief that movie critics are really bad at their job. Not all of them, but I have seen some of the most ignorant takes about the Super Mario Brothers film that to me is like, okay, I understand that movie critics are not fans of the Mario Brothers games. Not all of them. They don't know much about them. I understand that. And I understand also that these movie critics have these very strong political opinions, but unfortunately, they allow their own personal politics to get in the way of understanding what this story actually is, where it's based off of, where it's rooted, and what you have is you have critics sound like they have no idea what they're talking about and proving that they didn't even do 5 to 10 minutes of research. And I'm talking about you, Grace Randolph. You embarrass yourself yet again. Let me tell the people listening right now what this movie is and who this movie is for. This movie is for two different people. Two different demographics are going to enjoy this film the most. One, kids. It's a kids movie. That's what it is. It never hid the fact that it's a kid's movie. And ultimately, most people who are Mario fans now started playing the games when they were kids. And we just kept playing them because they became an intricate part of our childhood. And they also became synonymous with our growth as people. And we still play them to this day because they are good quality games. How many bad Mario games are there? We can debate all day about Mario Galaxy versus Odyssey versus 64 versus Mario 3 on Nintendo versus Super Mario World 2, Yoshi's Island. We can sit here and debate all day what the best Mario game is, but how many of them are actually bad? Not a lot. But that's neither here nor there. The first target audience is kids. The second target audience is fans of the Super Mario Brothers. The more of a fan that you are of Mario, the more Mario games you've played in your lifetime, including Mario Kart, including Smash Brothers, which isn't really just a Mario game, but he's in the game, including the Donkey Kong games, you're going to appreciate this movie more. The thing about this film, and it doesn't hide what it is. That's the thing I like about it. It's not trying to tell us like what Sonic the Hedgehog did, where you have live action actors and the cartoon hedgehog coming into our world. This movie's all animated. It's a fantasy land that does have the real world of Brooklyn, even though it's a fantasy comic book version of it, no different than like Spider-Verse, let's say. It's not like it's the real world, like with real humans. They're people that behave like humans. Then there's, of course, the Mushroom Kingdom, which is where Mario ends up and his adventure begins, just like in the video games. But the more of a fan you are of Mario games, the more you're going to appreciate the movie because, like I said, it doesn't hide what it is. It's a kid's movie that is going to be throwing Easter eggs at you with every scene. There are sequences in this film that I'm going to go back and watch in slow motion to pick out the Easter eggs. Just in my head, upon first viewing in a movie theater, I counted something in the neighborhood of over 60 Easter eggs. So it's got to be over 100 because there are some that my friend who was with me saw that I didn't even catch. And when I say Easter eggs, I don't just mean visuals. I don't just mean the power-ups from the various video games, the locations, the way the characters behave, certain lines from the video games, classic lines, classic sound effects. All the sound effects from the games are here. Even when like the wizard the Bowser's, number two, I guess you can say, when he's teleporting, it's right out of Super Mario World. Like they literally took that. You've got stuff from the Super Mario Brothers Super Show that is attributed here, an Easter egg, and you have music. This soundtrack is absolutely phenomenal because what they did is they took themes from the Mario games. And when I say from the Mario games, I'm talking about going all the way back to the first one, through Mario World, through the 3D games, Mario Galaxy. The whole movie sounds like the music of Mario. There's even music from things like Donkey Kong, the arcade game, a little bit of country in there. There's visual Easter eggs in the background. This movie is meant to be an intense visual experience for kids and for fans of the Super Mario Brothers, or people who are both. If you got kids who play these games, they're going to eat this movie up. They're going to pick up on so many references. There are so many moments that, if you played Mario, are a bit predictable, but they're the right move. You know what I mean? When you're watching the film, you can kind of sort of predict what they're going to do. And it's okay because it's the right move for the story. But the movie ends up being a fun time. It's a family film. It's funny. It's got a lot of comedy in it. I went to the movie theater. There were a lot of kids in the audience when I went to go see it. They were all giggling and laughing. They marked out at the same things that I marked out. I'm a guy in his 30s. You got kids here who are much younger than me, but they play the same games that I play, the Mario games, because these games are timeless, and this movie is timeless. For my money, Super Mario Brothers, the movie, 2023, is the best video game adaptation film we've ever gotten. I'm not talking about The Last of Us as a TV show, but this movie, in my opinion, is better than Mortal Kombat from 1993, was it? Now, I like that movie. I want to clarify, I like the original Mortal Kombat. Annihilation, not so much. I like that. I love Sonic 1 and Sonic 2 that just came out recently. This movie, as far as it being a real love fest to the video games, beats it. Whether you think it's a better movie than Sonic 2, that's up to you. I enjoyed it more. But again, I'm also a hardcore fan of Mario. If you are a fan of Mario, you will enjoy this movie more. This movie is made for the fans. End of story. And it's okay if you're not a fan. You might still enjoy it as a nice, fun kids romp. You're still going to like that. But if you're a Mario fan, you will just chew this up. Just so many Easter eggs, so many things that have replayability. It's a very simple, easy to follow story. So if you have kids, you don't have to worry about them coming. The movie's barely over an hour and a half. It's an easy movie. It's a fun movie, and it did what it's supposed to do. And I think this movie will bring families together. I think if you're in your 30s or 40s and you've got kids that play Mario, you're going to play it with the kids because you're both going to understand this. Like, this movie is like sort of like the Dragon Ball movies, how and even into the Spider-Verse, they bring generations together. You know what I mean? When we were kids, we love Mario. Our kids love Mario. Now the next generation, and you're going to all get it. It's going to be like a euphoric experience. But if you're not a fan, you won't appreciate it as much. There was nothing in the movie that I thought was dumb, or there was nothing that I thought was out of place. Every decision made makes sense. Everything made sense to me. Matthew Fogel wrote a great script. You know, Matthew Fogel is a huge fan of Mario with the lines that were in this thing. He's done his homework. He's played the games. He knows what's up. And they didn't overdo it. They took bits and pieces. There was enough of a little love for each game. If you like Mario 64, there's going to be some stuff here for you. If you like the Mario 3D World, there's stuff here for you. If you like Mario 3, there's a little bit for everyone. And it's so hard to make a movie like this. And Matthew Fogel, along with Aaron Horvath and Michael Jelenic, who are the directors, nailed it. As far as the voice cast goes, Chris Pratt was fine. There was no problems here. Some people don't like it. Mario sounds a bit more, he sounds more like a real character. Like Charles Martinet's Mario fits the video games more because a lot of it is sound bites, whereas Chris Pratt's Mario sounds more like a person you would meet in Brooklyn. Like you really, it's not a thick Brooklyn accent, but it works. And Charles Martinet's role in the movie, I think, is pretty damn funny. I don't want to spoil it in case you're going in not knowing. If I do a spoiler review, I'll go into it there. But Yes, thumbs up. Go see this movie. If you're a Mario fan as I am, which I know a lot of you are, you're going to like it. It's a fun adventure. It's sort of like the video game version of Into the Spider-Verse. If you felt that Into the Spider-Verse was one of the better animated adaptations, Mario will be right up your alley. Go see it. Take care. Let me know down below what you thought, and I'll talk to y'all real soon.